I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 159. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burlerman Gaming and Fubu87. Burley, Fubu, how are you doing this second week of January? Burley?
Doing good. We've been dealing with a snowstorm here. It's been so fun because around Christmas time, it wasn't winter, it was rainy weather, and now winter has come.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
dealing with that fun.
Yeah, it's weird out here in Japan. It's like some days it's like over 10 degrees, like, you know, it gets up to about 13 degrees. And then some days the high temperature is like 4 or 5, you know, in Celsius, of course. So yeah. So
I would love weather like that.
yeah. But yesterday we got our first snow out here. So for about an hour or two, it snowed a little bit. But yeah. Fubu, how about you out there in Madeira?
Well, first of all, I'm recovered from last week because last week I was almost dying, so I'm feeling better with that.
Dying.
I think today I'll talk a little bit more last week.
Yeah, it's a little extreme to say I was like dying. Yeah, but yeah, I know the feeling though. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically, I look at my girlfriend and she looks at me and then, you look slimmer. What the hell happened to you? Like, I was dying in bed. I wouldn't eat. So that's my my therapy. Anyway, yeah, it's wet here. We don't have snow here in Madeira. It's very rare to have snow that bother us. And the mountain, yes, but in the middle of where people live, no. But it's actually quite wet. Today I had the right idea to leave the house in the middle of a storm. So it's very wet, but it's hot because I don't have any climate anything. But the humidity is good. I can stay inside with only a t-shirt, but it's raining a lot. It's foggy where I live. But everything else, yeah, it's great. It's good weather to stay at home, basically.
I see. That's cool. So we got a great show for you. So this, of course, is our new time. So 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And out there in Europe, where you are in Madeira, Fubu, it's 10 p.m. out there.
10 p.m.,
so
exactly.
So that's going to be our new times moving forward here for the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. So anyway, we got a great show for you. Our topic of the show, we're going to be delving into the Developer Direct that's coming on the 18th. So we're excited for that. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about the DICE Awards, the list of the nominees, talk about that. The MSI Claw, the newest gaming handheld device, was shown off at CES. We'll talk about the specs to that and some other things pertaining to handheld gaming devices. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We got some gameplay trailer of that. We can't show it, unfortunately, because of NDAs, and we'll explain that a little bit later. But anyway, exactly, Burley, exactly, yeah. And then, of course, our picks of the week for the week of January 15th through the 21st. And PS Plus Extra and Premium. We'll be talking about that later on in the show. But before we get into the games that we have been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you can find this podcast in video and audio formats.
Episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, the ad-free version will be available on Patreon after recording. To access exclusive ad-free post-show content in both audio and video formats for just $1 per month, visit patreon.com/thearenaproductions. You can also find the audio version of our podcast on all major free podcast services. Just download your preferred podcast app, search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, subscribe, and leave us a review or feedback if available. The video version is available on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. Join our community on Discord at The Arena Productions for engaging discussions. For audio episodes, visit www.thearenaproductions.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave comments. For comprehensive information about our podcast and other entertainment and pop culture content, including our blog and forums, head to our official website at www.thearenaproductions.com. Follow us on Twitter at TheArenaAMPGNP and Instagram at TheArenaProductions for the latest updates. Now, back to the show.
All right, guys. So I'm going to talk about what I've been playing now. So I've been playing Diablo 4. I got back into Diablo 4, Burley.
Right
and
on.
actually, season 3 is coming soon. So I've been playing a little bit just to catch up. Of course, I'm playing as a barbarian. The thing that my pet peeve about this game is I'm not great with maps, and sometimes I'm going around in circles everywhere, and
Yeah, I
sometimes,
know that feeling with this game.
right. And sometimes, you're in like dark corridors and things. And I mean, the map is almost unseeable a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, just the hack and slash nature of it and just, the mashing of the buttons in this game. I mean, it's typical Diablo. I'm having fun with it. So I'm still relatively early though. I'm still like at level 20 or so, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what I've been playing. I've been having fun with it. So yeah, good old Diablo 4. So okay, Burley, what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing RoboCop Rogue City. I started it up this week and streaming this. My God, this game is a lot of fun. And if you are a RoboCop fan, it really takes the aesthetic. Like it's got it so much. Like when you move, you feel like RoboCop and stuff like that. You've got it. You've got the unit. You're in the universe, and like you can do stuff. And this will get you achievement or trophy. Is you'll see cars that are parked illegally. You print the ticket. And it gives you bonus experience points and stuff like that. Like they really spent the time and the effort in this. And it's like, oh my God, I love this, that they actually took the effort. And then like I hit a certain boss in the game. If you've played the original, if you've seen the films, you know what character it'll be. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you'll know what it'll be and you'll understand. But
is Peter Weller voice acting RoboCop or?
No, I don't think it's Peter Weller. It's another person, but the face is pretty much Peter Weller from the original, the 88 classic or 87?
Yeah, the late 80s. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there.
Yeah,
but like it feels like in the RoboCop universe, they did a damn fine job with this, and it is just so good. I haven't even finished the game, but like I'm having fun. Like it's a game. Like you spend time in the police station, but you go to levels and levels, and you can explore, do side content, or you can go straight. And like the dialogue and the human moments with the characters when you're doing the dialogue trees and stuff, it's so good. This was something. I'm glad I picked it up around the Christmas time. I got this game really cheap over the Christmas break thanks to CD keys. Highly recommend when this game comes on sale for people. If you're a fan of RoboCop, definitely check it out.
Nice. And you were playing it on PS5, Burley? On PlayStation?
No, actually, I bought it on Steam because
on Steam. Okay.
PlayStation went on sale, but like on PlayStation, it would cost me like $50 something over the holiday sales. I got it on Steam for $38. So
nice. All righty. Okay. So Fubu, you're up next. What game have you been playing this past week?
Spider-Man 2. And I am so disappointed at this game. Look at Burley. Like, I feel like no, don't do the Jedi. No, I'll explain. Like, the game is fun. Don't get me wrong. The game is fun. Like the traversal, everything that Burley talked about, really good. My complaint is I feel like we went backwards with this game. Okay, and I'm not gonna take it too long, but I think you'll agree. First of all, do you remember on the Spider-Man one and on the Miles Morales DLC, the suits had abilities? You remember that?
Yeah.
The suits don't have abilities on this one. Like besides the Venom suit and the anti-Venom suit, okay, but that's story related. But all the other suits, they don't have abilities. And I remember that on the original game and the DLC, it had abilities. I do understand that to give abilities to all the suits, but sometimes more is less, and this is the case. I would rather have less suits, but give diversity to the suit. I would love that. I think it would be something good. That's one of the points that disappoint me. And there's another thing that really disappoint me, which was a key factor on the original one and the DLC, which is I don't know, don't remember the name. I remember the Batman mode, which is the Predator mode, where you had to sneak around and defeat the enemies. You don't have that like mandatory. Like you can do that if you want, but at the same time, if you want to jump, like I was doing the Arsenal bits, barely knows what it is, but I was doing the Arsenal bits, and I could just jump to the middle of them and kick their asses. I didn't need to do the Predator moves to go to stick around. I didn't need to do any of that. So yeah, I great game if it was like a DLC or whatever. But these 2 points get me really disappointed in the game. But that's my thought at least. But I don't take the story mode. Great story. What they did with the symbiote suit, you feel the power of the symbiote suit on your controller. They did a great job with the controller to feel the power of the suit. It's really good. They did a lot of great things, but they could have done more with the game.
Okay. No, that's fair. Like I understand the suit power like I get it, but like with the symbiote abilities and the spider arms, I kind of felt they made up for it because like giving, like you said, giving every suit a power, especially with the amount of suits in that game between Miles and Peter, it is just like there's like 200 and the different styles for all the suits. It's like 200 suits. So
Yeah.
them
I
coming
do
up with
agree.
200 power. Yeah, it's
That's why I was saying
it's
sometimes too much is less. I think if they went less suits and they gave more creativity and you can use the suits in specific situations, I think it would be more than too many suits, and then each suit is styled differently. I think they went backwards in that aspect.
Okay.
fair.
All right. So let's get into our weekly news beat. So we talk about the news that came out in the world of video games and game development. So the first story is the DICE Awards. It's coming up, the 27th annual DICE Awards. And Burley, I know you probably have some things to say about this, especially the fact that Sea of Stars got completely snubbed for this awards presentation that's coming up. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that the Sea of Stars got snubbed because like a best RPG. Just give me a sec. They listed the Cyberpunk DLC and instead of giving it to Sea of Stars. I'm not saying the Cyberpunk DLC is a bad or anything or not good, but it is DLC. This is the best RPG game, not DLC game. So Sea of Stars should have been put in there, and like the other nominations in that category, like I'm Baldur's Gate 3, that's a no duh. Diablo 4, yeah, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield. I'm understanding all that. I think Sea of Stars got snubbed there because they're like that the DICE one they do for some indies, but not for all. So it was a really, really weird thing to me.
So yeah, outstanding achievement in animation. What I'm showing here first: Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Mario Brothers Wonder, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So then we move on here. So outstanding achievement in art direction. So Alan
I
Wake 2.
love I
Go
love
ahead,
to
Bill.
see that Hogwarts Legacy is getting some love. We'll see some more Hogwarts Legacy down below, but
Yeah.
I like that Hogwarts Legacy is getting some love. I love that Star Wars Jedi Survivor is getting more love because
Yeah.
it was a really good
Yeah.
game, and I
Oh,
feel
yes.
like at the Game Awards, was a bit snubbed as well. I know there
Yeah.
was more present than Hogwarts Legacy, but still, it should have been more because. I think it was left behind, but it's also a very good game. So when it comes to this article, and we'll see more, I do like that Hogwarts Legacy in Star Wars is being shown more love.
Yep. And Spider-Man 2 again, of course, in this category. So Outstanding achievement in character. So Alan Wake 2, Saga Anderson, Baldur's Gate 3, Asterion, Baldur's Gate 3, Karlach, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales, and Thirsty Suitors, Jayla. So interesting. Probably Baldur's Gate's going to win that one too, but yeah.
Oh, Asteron will win that. I put
Yeah.
money on that.
Oh yeah.
But the work that was done with Miles Morales is really good. Like when it comes to character development, he's the star of the show on Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So outstanding achievement in original music composition. So Alan Wake 2, Diablo 4, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is like almost every category here. Planet of Lana and Jedi Survivor again. So yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 should be here. It has such a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
It does, but I'm telling you, from the one section of Alan Wake 2, you remember the music section from the first Alan Wake?
Yeah.
This one blows that one out of the water.
Yeah.
And like, if you've heard the song Herald of Darkness, you'll understand why this got nominated. And hope out of them all, I hope it wins, because that song was so good.
Yeah. Outstanding achievement in audio design. Alan Wake 2, Cocoon, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2 again, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor again. So, yeah. Audio design, Hi-Fi Rush, man.
Yeah.
I think that's the one there, yeah, for sure. So, yeah. Then we move on down here. So, outstanding achievement in story. So, we got of course,
Sea of
Alan
Stars
Wake
should
2
be
again.
here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Baldur's
Agreed.
Gate 3, Dave the Diver. There's your replacement for Sea of Stars, Burley. Dave the Diver. Yeah, which got a lot of love as well. But Thirsty Suitors and Venba. So,
Not to say,
Sea of
like,
Stars.
some of these games, I'm not mad with their story or anything, but Sea of Stars, if you've played Sea of Stars, I know I am hella biased. I will admit it. My name is in the credits, but it was so good, that story. And once you finish the game and you go back and get the true ending, it is like, oh.
Yeah.
Outstanding technical achievement, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy, The Finals, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
What is the finals doing here?
For those that don't know, the finals is another Apex clone kind of thing. The easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
And nothing
Multiplayer
against the game. Nothing against the game, but it is not a technical achievement. There are other games that could have been here. Like Zelda, I understand because of the stuff you can do, but it is Hogwarts, needs to be there. Marvel, Alan Wake 2, I would agree, but it's just like the finals is just such a, hey, we want to give something to this.
Yeah, I would put the Cyberpunk DLC here, because what they did with the DLC is a technical achievement.
Yeah, I can agree there.
Yeah. Action game of the year. So, Armor Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Remnant 2.
I would go with Wi-Fi Rush here, because it's the action and force you to play to the beat of the game. I think that's really good. Spider-Man, I won't get into it again, but there's also a part on the fighting of the game that already don't do that, Burley. Come on. Let me be free, Burley. Let me be free.
If Dead Space was truly a 2023 game, then I would have definitely probably picked Dead Space, but
no. Dead Space does a few new things for someone that, like, I did play the remake.
Never played it.
Like, it does do a few new things compared to the original, but it's only up there because of just how well regarded Dead Space remake was.
Yeah. All right, adventure game of the year. So, Alan Wake 2, Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, adventure game of the year.
I would go with Zelda.
That's I was just about to say that. Zelda, I think. Yeah.
Zelda, but Dave the Diver doesn't. like I don't mean to, like, I have not played it, but I've seen people streamed it. But mostly what you are doing is just like swimming around trying to collect fish and treasure and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like it's not nothing like revolutionary. Whereas like Zelda here, you can whatever you want to build, you can freaking build in this game if you've got the patience and the time.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Family game of the year. So family game of the year. Disney Illusion Island, Fae Farm, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Midnight Girl, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. You know it's going to win that.
Yeah,
Wonder.
Mario.
Of course, yeah.
The game was so that was so good. Good of a game.
Yep. Yeah. Fighting game of the year. So Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, Street Fighter 6.
You know, this is one of the good things of doing these awards a little bit later, because you can include Grand Blue this time. And Grand Blue, again, not the biggest fighting fan, but the art design on Grand Blue Fantasy, it's beautiful. I just love the animations, the art. It's really, really good. I know we're talking about the fighting itself, but allowing this game to be in competition with Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter, it's really refreshing to see something different and not as gory as the two that I mentioned before.
Yeah, but that's what it's all about now, Fubu. That's what everybody wants, is all the gore. So obviously it's going to be Mortal Kombat 1.
Get over here.
That's why Birdie likes Robocop. It's not because of passing tickets, it's because of the gore, and he kills everything.
Oh yeah, that gore in that game. Yeah, that game is rated M for mature for a reason.
So the tickets are like a side thought. Yeah,
it's a side quest.
Yeah.
The tickets is when you want to be a really bitchy person, you pass the ticket.
Yeah. Racing game of the year: F-Zero 99, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Turbocharged, Lego 2K Drive. I'd go for F-Zero 99. Yes, going the way of retro on this one. Yeah. What about you guys?
I got to give the Forza.
Forza, yeah. Forza's probably going to win, yeah. But yeah.
I haven't played F-Zero 99, but like the thing is with these Nintendo, because I've played some of these others, I've never gotten the appeal of F-Zero. And one of these, it's like a short racer, and if you don't get good quick, you're going to get knocked out in Forza and F-Zero 99. Whereas Forza, it's just, I don't want to say samey, but they've got the formula down.
Yeah.
And they know what people like.
Yeah. Fubu, any thoughts on racing?
It's F-Zero.
category?
Yeah, sorry. I'm going the same way. F-Zero's, it's one of those classics that was a big influence in the future of racing games. So I'll go with F-Zero as well.
Here we go. RPG, role-playing game of the year: Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield. You know it's going to win this. Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate, yeah.
That's another given.
But again, Sea of Stars should have been here instead of Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Yeah. Sports game of the year: EA Sports FC 24, Fubu, MLB The Show 23, WWE 2K23. Where is Madden? Madden is not in here. Anyway.
Yeah, Madden did not have a good release. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well. What do you think, Fubu? I know your choice.
No. Trust me, I'm not going with the. No. I'm not going with that game.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm going to be biased here. EA Sports FC. Okay. It is, again, it is a good game. It is a good game. They just need to improve some details. And I'll be honest, this year I feel that the community is extremely toxic. Like, there's a lot of leaks and people are just stealing information from everyone. If you go on Twitter and spend like 20 minutes, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's really toxic. The community this year is not so good.
Okay. Well,
you will
I'm going to
change your vote to WWE.
That's exactly where I was going, Burley, with it. I'm going WWE, baby. It's like, the wrestling. Gotta do that. Because when I was a kid, I used to go to the NWA events and stuff a long time ago. Ric Flair and all those guys. Yeah. So,
Nice.
So I'm going with WWE on this one.
I've
MLB.
actually,
I was just gonna say before you go on, Burley, MLB. I mean, it's almost like Madden. It's like every year, it's pretty much the same except for roster updates and stuff like that. But go ahead.
I've been to a few WWE shows. Like I've been to a taping of Raw, and I've been to some WWE events in my area. And like from what I've heard of these, because I've not played any of these three, like 2K23, they
Mhm.
really did improve. 2K20 or 2021, I can't remember which one it was so bad. Like
Yeah.
the year after,
Mhm.
in the January 1st, it broke the game. They had to scramble, make an emergency patch to get the
Yeah.
game playable for people. They
Yeah.
took their time and made a much better product.
Yeah.
MLB The Show, like I've heard, it's not bad, but it's the
Right.
same thing year
Yeah.
after year.
Yeah, I mean, there's gamers out there, I love them all, but they just play one or two games a year, and it's these sports games, So
Oh, yeah.
that's all they
I
play.
did that a
So,
lot with FIFA. I did that
Yeah.
a lot with FIFA.
yeah. Next up, strategy. Yes, strategy sim game of the year. Against the Storm, Cobalt Core, Dune, Spice Wars, The Last Spell, and War Tales. I'm sorry, War Tales. I played Dune Spice Wars. It's interesting. I'd probably go with that one, maybe. How about you
Yeah,
guys?
same.
I'm gonna go War Tales because that's the only one I've heard out of all these. Like I know Dune Spice Wars, obviously, but like War Tales is the only one I've ever heard anything else out of, and seen like trending on social media and stuff. So I'm gonna go with War Tales.
Okay. From Shido Games. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Next up, immersive reality. It's funny how they try to come up with these cool technical vocabulary
Sorry.
words for VR. It's like in a sense, but yeah. Immersive reality technical achievement. So Asgard's Wrath 2, Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Vertigo 2, We Are One. I'll definitely go with Assassin's Creed Nexus because I am the biggest Assassin's Creed guy of all of us here on the podcast. I would be interested to try this and see, what the cities look like, because in the Assassin's Creed games that Ubisoft puts out every other year, I mean, just the venues are just beautiful, and the historical elements to them all. So I'd love to see what it would look like in VR. So, what
I would
about
go
you
the
guys?
same.
Yeah.
I would love to play as Ezio once again.
Yeah.
Like a new story. Ezio is my favorite assassin, and I do love the Renaissance time that the game passes. I think it would be beautiful. Maybe do like that historical tour that they do on the other games. Maybe visit like the statues, the art, everything. If they focus on that during the Renaissance period, maybe explore Da Vinci's workshop. Like you can go inside and you just look around.
Oh,
and
that'd be awesome.
I think that would be beautiful to do in VR.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and walk around the Colosseum in Rome and everything else. That would be awesome. Yeah. So, Burley, how about you?
I'm gonna go Horizon Call of the Mountain. The only reason I'm saying this is because out of all these games, that's the only one that I've heard anything about, and I've heard positive things of Call of the Mountain. But the thing is, it's on the PSVR 2, and for me, I'd have to spend like $900 to play that, plus the PS5 investment I already have.
Well, $900 if you don't have the console, because you need the console.
No. That's how much the VR, like the bundle that gives you the VR, Call of the Mountain, and the charger. Because I'd want the charger instead of buying the charger separate.
Canada.
Canada's expensive.
yeah, for sure. So, immersive reality game of the year. It's pretty much the same here. We just did that. Yeah. So let's move on here and get to, let's see, outstanding achievement for indie game. So Cocoon, Dredge, El Paso everywhere, or El Paso elsewhere. Sorry, guys, it's like a little after 7 in the morning out here in Japan, so I'm still opening my eyes up a little bit here. Apologies for that. So, Thirsty Suitors and Vinba. So,
Again,
indie game.
Sea of
Of
Stars.
course, I'm going to go for Cocoon on this one because
Yeah.
Sea of Stars is not there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Cocoon, I think. Burley.
Cocoon is out of any of these. Cocoon I would vote for, but it's really telling. They have Dave the Diver and all these other categories. Don't put it in indie here.
I know.
See, this is the weird.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing, and they didn't put Sea of Stars, but they put some of these other games. And like Cocoon deserves to be here. Dredge, I've heard good things.
Yeah.
I have not really heard anything on El Paso. Not really heard anything on Thirsty Suitors. I've heard a bit about the other one, but it's like Sea of Stars, not here. This was just such a like. Do they got a thing against us Canadians? Dice, you got a problem with us? Coming for you.
All right.
Where's Ever Crisis? Ever Crisis should be here.
Yeah. Mobile
I
game
knew
of the
you were gonna
year.
say that.
Gubbins,
Hey.
Hello Kitty, Island Adventure, Honkai Star Rail, Terranil, and What the Car? So I would definitely go Honkai Star Rail on this one.
Yeah.
I mean that's huge on mobile out here in Japan as well. So
That's
Fubus.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same. I know it's a powerhouse of a game, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Burley.
win.
Yeah.
It's a huge game all over the world, and actually, someone on this podcast has played a fair amount of it. Turn-based Carl.
That's right. Yes. Our other co-host, he should be hopefully back with us from next week. So, yeah. All right. Next up, online game of the year. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Diablo 4, Omega Strikers, Street Fighter 6, and the finals. I've got to go Call of Duty. I mean, it's it's just, it's the player base on that is still huge, obviously. So
It's massive.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're all in consensus there.
Oh well, I'm saying Call of Duty is the most popular, but I'm gonna go Diablo.
Okay. Next up, outstanding achievement in game design: Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Dave the Diver again. So, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm gonna let Burley breathe because Burley's gonna complain about Dave the Diver. It's just going down. But you have Sea of Stars. It's a beautiful artwork that Sea of Stars has. It's a beautiful world, and they don't go with only one world. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but you go to a different world, a universe, and they change the design so well. They can mash the design from the original world with the new world. They do something beautiful when it comes to game design. So I'm gonna let Burley take a breather on this one because I know he's gonna complain.
Yeah. Go ahead, Burley. Take it away.
Well, no, Sea of Stars, it should be here, but another game that should be in here over Dave the Diver. No offense on Dave the Diver. Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 got snubbed here because of what they do. For a small spoiler here, a really cool element in there is you're swapping between Alan Wake himself and Saga Anderson. And how they do that in the new elements that they do add with the gameplay, it really adds. Like, I'm not saying Dave the Diver is bad, but this is outstanding achievement in game design. Dave the Diver, like, I don't mean to be mean, it doesn't do anything new or revolutionary. Whereas Baldur's Gate really showed what you can do with an RPG. Cocoon was such a great game.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder, them taking that reinventing Mario with all the stages with the Wonder Flowers and all that, and every stage changing up and all the different gameplay mechanics and changing things on your head and all that, which it really, really, they did a great job. Tears of the Kingdom, expanding immensely over on Breath of the Wild and all the fusing and the crafting you can do and all the stuff you can do and all the exploring and all that. Like, they took a long time on making, what was it, like 6 years between the two games. They showed they took their time and it paid off.
Yeah. Okay, next up, outstanding achievement in game direction. So game direction, guys. So Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'd say Baldur's Gate 3 on this
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Game of the year, the last one. So we get to the final category here. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to
Yeah.
win.
It's it was a powerhouse of a game when
Yeah.
the year ended, winning
Yeah.
the Game Awards, winning so many prizes, awards for Game of the Year and other stuff.
If
Yeah,
there is a surprise, I would say Alan Wake 2. But anyway, Burley, what do you think?
Yeah, Alan Wake 2 has, out of the other titles here,
Mhm.
in Zelda have the best chance of beating it over Baldur's Gate 3, but I agree Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win it. It's Cocoon. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see it up there. Cocoon was a good design game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is, such a juggernaut of a game this past year. So I don't see how, any of the other games are going to beat it there. So, but
I hope
yeah.
next year we're talking about Final Fantasy VII like this. Saying that
That's
what I want. I want to be
being a
next year.
juggernaut or not getting included
Juggernaut.
or getting
No,
snot.
Juggernaut. No.
I figured as much, but I got to go for the comedy.
No. If that Final Fantasy VII flops, it's gonna break my heart. I don't think it's gonna flop, but it's gonna break my heart.
It's not going to flop in terms of sales. I can.
Oh, not sales.
I
No.
can-
But
I will bet you
Yeah.
a million cases of spiritual opium on that.
Be careful, Burley. That's a lot of spiritual hope.
I just
that's like an OD territory there, man.
I just want to play with Zach with these graphics. That's what I want to do. Like, Zach is my favorite character, and it's not spoilers because the game came out already such a long time ago. But the way they changed the end and he didn't die, it gives me hope that I will be able to play with him. And some things that you already seen from the game, you see him with the sword and with the materia slots filled. So it's hinting that you'll be able to play with him, and I just want to do that because it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk about CES, guys. So I think CES just concluded in Las Vegas. And of course, every year they have all the new tech gadgets that are coming out in this year for 2024. And we got another handheld device, the MSI Claw. So we got the specs for that now. And in a minute, I'm going to show you an image where it shows all of the other handhelds that are out now, like the Steam Deck, of course, the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, and how it compares to those. But first, I want to read for you. This is from gamingbolt.com. The link is below for you video viewers. For you audio listeners, it's at gamingbolt.com about the MSI Claw. And I'm just going to read off a little bit of the specs here for the Claw, because in the image I'm going to show next, it came out before the CES event where they read all of these specs off. So the processor up to Intel Core Ultra 7. So the operating system, Windows 11 Home, Windows 11 Pro, 16 gigabytes of RAM, dual channel LPDDR5. 7-inch display, 1920 by 1080 and 120 hertz IPS level panel. Intel Arc graphics. Storage slot, 1 NVMe M.2 2230 PCIe Gen 4 SSD. Sensor 6-axis IMU vibration motor. Connectivity, Intel Killer Wi-Fi 7, the BE1750 Bluetooth 5.4. And it goes on. Weight 675 grams. So, and the dimensions 294 width by 117. So D and 21.2 millimeters. So, yeah, So we got that. And let me go ahead and show you guys, all of you viewers out there, the image of the specs for the other 3 gaming consoles, the Lenovo Legion Go, the Asus ROG Ally, and the Valve Steam Deck, of course, which Burley you have and you are playing with. So how do you think this MSI Claw is going to stack up with the 3 other competitors? Burley, I'll start with you because you are a Steam Deck user.
Yeah, this is a very interesting thing, this device, because all these other devices have been going the AMD route for their graphic and CPU. This one is going Intel. Intel is great for CPUs, don't get me wrong, but their graphics cards that they started just a couple years ago, started going into the Intel graphics, making their own graphics cards with Battle Mage and stuff like that. And Alchemist, I think it was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing okay, but they're not the juggernauts. They're not NVIDIA or AMD. I want Intel graphics to do well, their graphics cards, because getting another vendor in there, getting these prices down on these GPUs, it's a win-win for all of us. So this thing could be very interesting to see with the power. It's just the only thing, because they're saying Intel graphics, the ARC graphics, we have no idea how powerful this graphics are. Like with these, with the AMD ones, they have put out specs, and it's like it's comparable to this NVIDIA card or this full-blown AMD card, so people have an idea of what they're getting in their head. This Intel one, you're not, but you're getting quite the CPU,
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting a good amount of high-speed RAM. There is rumors that there's going to be a 32 on the sheet. It gives you 32 gigs of RAM. There has been the rumors up to 32 gigs of RAM, so which is quite huge, getting more RAM on these devices. And then there's the rumors they're going to give you like the 1 terabyte SKU and probably a 512 and all that. So this thing's going to be interesting. I think it will take a bite out of the market, but will this claw penetrate through fully and really take a huge sales bite out of Steam Deck, Lenovo? Well, Lenovo's just starting, but Asus and some of like the LG and all these, because there's a million of these devices now.
Yeah.
I don't, unless Intel, like, because we don't even know pricing. That's another thing. We do not know pricing on this device. So it's interesting. Like, this is 4 grams heavier than the Steam Deck. Yeah. So it is a little heavier. The Steam Deck's got a good weight, so 4 grams isn't too much. But this is going to be very interesting. I don't think this is going to like really take off in the market unless they really price this very competitive, where it's like, okay, let's say it's $100 off compared to the Steam Deck's middle SKU.
Yeah.
The 256 on the older units. Like if they can get into that kind of pricing, I think they could do some real damage. But I don't think, because MSI is a pretty premium brand, and they're not going to make one of these devices and take a hit, because it's not like Valve, where Valve will take the hit on the hardware, because they know once you get in that, even if you don't have a big Steam library, there's so many games I've bought on Steam just because it's like, oh, this runs great on the deck. Perfect. I can have this great on the go. Okay, I'll give Valve my money. They're not going to get those kind of sales, so they're going to want to make profit on these units, every unit sold.
Okay, so now my question is, first of all, we got some news. It's we don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly there was a leaker out there saying that the Switch 2 is going to be coming in September. So we don't know if that's true yet. So I'm not going to throw that story out, but that's just a rumor. But if it does, do you think with all this saturation in the market of handheld devices now, now you got the MSI coming out, you've got the Lenovo, you got the Asus and the Steam Deck out. I mean, do you think that's going to hurt Switch 2 sales?
No, I don't think it will because of the Nintendo factor.
Okay.
Because
Go ahead.
you're only going to get these Mario games, these Zelda games, only on official Nintendo hardware. So
Yeah.
Nintendo knows they
Yeah.
got that. Like the only way these stuff takes a bite is if for the Switch 2 they put out the Switch 1 again with like, hey, we have double the storage and 1 extra hour of battery life kind of thing, where it's not very much improvements
Yeah.
in their hardware, and Nintendo gets lazy kind of thing.
Fubu, your thoughts on all this, and how could the Switch 2 be affected by this saturation of handheld devices?
Well, let's talk about the Switch too, because I feel I'm more comfortable talking about that. First of all, if they take the same route as the Switch, it is not a handheld device; it's a hybrid device. So you can
Of
play it at
course.
home and you can take it
Of course.
with you. So that's gonna end up being a different market, unless there's some kind of option that I don't know that you can connect this to your television screen. But that's a different story. Like what Burley was saying, they have the IP to make the Switch a hit. They just need. I'm not going to say the best graphics because Nintendo is not famous for having the best graphics. They have a lot of animation style. For example, I feel that Wi-Fi Rush is a perfect game to play on the Switch because I feel like the art design matches really well with the Switch. They don't need to make super serious games because they are not focused only on adults. They want children as well. I remember one of the best things that I've seen on the Switch was that you could play with the cart. There was a game that you could play with the cart. You can make it was a sort of VR as well, but you can
Oh,
make
the Labo stuff.
yeah, Labo, exactly, the Labo. Thank you very much. That's it. What Nintendo does to make themselves different from the everyone in the market, they are creative with their IP and with what they make. So they are a different brand. Uh, I I personally think that the Switch 2 will be weaker than PlayStation 5, Xbox, all these handheld gaming consoles. It's going to be weaker, but it's going to differentiate by what they can offer, and what they can offer is unique. If you want to play a Mario, you're only going to play a Mario on the Nintendo on the Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it, unless they are very unlucky and some hacker manages to create an emulator and make it run in one of these handheld devices. In that situation, but I think that there won't be a problem because it's really hard to hack a new console. When it comes to these handheld devices, the success of the handheld, it's going to depend on what you can do with the handheld device. A few weeks ago, I said that the Steam Deck is perfect. It is a perfect console because you can do whatever you want to do with the Steam Deck. You can play Steam games, PlayStation, Xbox. If you have an emulator, you can play with the Switch. So it can. It's obviously the more powerful the handheld, the more games you'll be able to play, the better the games will run. Of course, there's all of that. But when it comes to the opponents, it's going to depend because if you limit the MSI Claw, if you limit what you can do with the console, you're going to lose. And I'm just going to get Sony, which is what I'm more specialized about. And you have the example of the PSP and the Vita. Vita was a much better console than the PSP, but was less of a hit because it was so well protected. You couldn't do whatever you wanted with the Vita. With the PSP, you can hack, play all the PSP games, all the other games like emulators. I played a Pokemon on the PSP at the time, so because Vita was only useful to play Vita games, it was a flop. You couldn't do anything else, and I feel again these handheld gaming consoles, the more you can do, the bigger hit is going to be. If you restrict what you can do with them, they won't be as good. The Steam Deck can be better than this MSI Claw because you can do more with the Steam Deck. I'm just giving the example. I don't know how it's going to be, but I'm not going with tech. I'm going what you can do with the console. less powerful console can be more useful if you can do more than a more powerful console.
This MSI Claw looks very similar to the ROG Ally. It's almost like a clone of it, when it comes to the dimensions and all. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's like, take your pick, whichever device that is best for you. I mean, if you like using Windows on a handheld device as well, maybe one of these, especially the Claw, or the ROG Ally, of course, might be for you. But yeah, I think the market's just getting too saturated with these handheld devices, and it's going to hurt sales. But like Fubu was saying with the Steam Deck, I mean, you got a lot of options available to you with that as well. So,
Well, the nice thing is, like, Valve allows you to pretty much do whatever you want to the device. If you want to wipe Steam Deck OS off there, Steam OS, and you want to throw Windows on there, you can do that. You have that. Like, I know people that not just use their Steam Deck, not just as playing the games on it, because you have the desktop mode and it's their own version of Linux. You can do that. Like the MSI and Asus and Lenovo, you have Windows, but the problem is Windows for these handheld modes, they've got a lot done on there, but there's still a lot to be done.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Whereas Valve had Steam OS out for, it's been like 8 years or whatever. It's since it came out. I could be wrong and be longer.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's been out for years, and Valve put the effort and time into it.
Let us know in the comments what you think of the MSI Claw and all of the other handheld devices that are out there now. Which is your preference? And also let us know in the comments what you think of the DICE Awards nominations and how they compared to the Game Awards nominations. I would really like to hear from you in the comments over here on the Arena Productions YouTube channel. So, yeah, good stuff. All right. Next up, so Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. It's coming soon, but the weird thing about this is they come out, and here's the link to the IGN article. They come out with 26 minutes worth of gameplay. They decide to lift the NDA, but then they tell us that no, only when it comes to the NDA, it's like gamers, you cannot post like
Reactions.
pictures, reactions, gameplay footage of this. So I wanted to show all of you here on the podcast some of the gameplay footage, but because of this NDA, which they say they lifted the NDA, apparently they only lifted the NDA for IGN. But everybody else, they quote, players may not post imagery or videos from the closed alpha testing, quote. So, Burley, you have played the alpha, or you've seen some of the gameplay, and you've played some of the alpha. So, and we've watched this 26 minutes of the gameplay. So, Burley, I'll start with you on this one. What were your thoughts on it, and what do you think of this as we're getting closer to release?
Yeah, this upon like I think part of the reason, besides the standard stuff with IGN, is IGN showed the best kind of stuff of this game, showed the game running pretty well in 4K. So I think that's one reason why IGN was allowed to send this footage, because they're like, oh my God, something positive on this game. We got to allow this to promote. We have to let this be able to be promoted.
Yeah.
I played the alpha. This game I unfortunately couldn't record any footage or give out any of that. That was part of the terms, or else I would. But there's a reason why, because I understand it was an alpha, but boy, were there problems. This is a game that I'm telling people, if you're looking forward to this game, wait. Do not pre-order. Wait for this to be day one live. Wait for the content creators that get keys, or the people that are going to buy it, no matter what, big YouTubers and streamers. let them be the ones to buy and let them show you the game, because I know I only played the alpha, but it was just, this game has a lot of problems, and I don't think in the time from when I played and to the going live date, which I think is February 2nd. You can play it a couple days early if you bought the digital deluxe, which I think you can play like January 30th or 31st. So forgive me if I've got any of the dates wrong. But yeah, this game is not, like, frame wise, it runs well in like performance mode kind of thing, the 60 frames, but like just the gameplay and the characters feel a little sluggish. And it's just like, this gun gameplay, I've played better games that deal with the actual, the shooting controls and the way the guns feel, and changing to move around and shoot. You're aiming and all that. It did not control the greatest. I'm sure I could have fixed it with sensitivity and changing sensitivity on the controllers, but for most of these games, I never have to change this.
Yeah, Fubu, your thoughts? I agree with Burley on the gameplay and everything. From what he said, what are your thoughts on the gameplay that IGN showed off?
I don't think the Flash is the best enemy to show gameplay. I've seen gameplay, like I saw not 20 something minutes, but I did see some stuff, and it was like, do I have to go every fight trying to find where he is because he's way too fast? I think I understand they don't want to show Batman or Superman because they're the top tier. They could have shown, instead of being the Flash, maybe they could have fought against Wonder Woman, for example, and more slow paced, where they can show the abilities. You don't need to worry where the enemy is all the time. I don't think he was the best one to show. And then there was something, you're going to say it's really minor. You're going to be like, Fubu today he's picking with the stupidest things, but it is true. I think there's the writing problem. There was a lack of creativity on the writing, because they have a joke from Captain Boomerang saying something that, you should have just sent a postcard with a bullet or something like that. And not even 1 minute after, you have the Flash showing up behind, and Harley Quinn tries to shoot him, and he says, you could have just sent me, you could have mailed me the bullet or something like that. They use the same type of joke in less than 1 minute. That shows there's not creativity in the writing, especially, and with a world that's really creative. I love Marvel, but I don't have any problem saying that DC has a very, very creative world. They could have written the game better. So that worries me a lot, because if you're not creative with your writing, which is the most important part in the game, I know you're going to say gameplay is important, and it is, but you can say for the gameplay, but if you have a good story, sometimes you overcome a bad gameplay because it's a good story, and not the other way around, in my opinion. But again, I don't think Flash was the best one to show gameplay, because Flash is so fast that it's going to make the game look sluggish. I do agree with that, and it took me out of the game, because it's gonna be all fights like this. I don't like to fight how it is. They should have gone with something slower, and then this would be a different fight in the game, or they would show it later. And the writing, I think they could have done a better job. From what I saw, they could have done a better job with the writing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go back to this NDA. I mean, if you're going to let IGN show it, let all of us show it. That's my beef with all of this. So I think it just doesn't make any sense that you're gonna give one news publication the rights to show the video footage, and then tell everybody else, no, you're still under the NDA rules on that. It's not fair. So that's just my 10 cents on it.
No, I agree. It's sorry, Fubu, I'll let you go.
No, I was just gonna say, just remember, in 6 months is gonna be on PlayStation Plus and Xbox Gold or whatever, and we're all gonna be playing this for free.
Oh yeah, no, like Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well,
Could be
and
another
this is
Gotham
the
Knight
thing.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like actually after playing that and then playing Gotham Knights, because I bought Gotham Knights, and
Mhm.
it's
Steel
like
case. I remember.
I got the steelbook still for that, but Gotham Knights, at least the gameplay ran well. With this,
Yeah.
this doesn't, and this is Rocksteady. This is the studio that did all those great Batman games. This still confuses me that they decided to do this. Like you said, the writing is poor, and it's like, why are these characters using guns? Like King Shark, no. Deadshot makes the most sense.
Right.
Him
Right.
using
Right.
him using guns,
Right.
I got no problem. Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, yeah, the machine gun bat you could do a little bit with,
Yeah.
but it's like King Shark, yeah, I have to. He's got to have a gun. No, he needs to be ripping stuff, biting stuff. Like when you can't make a logic, like when I have to sit there,
Yeah.
like, and I have to turn my brain and be like, no, I got to turn my brain off. I got to just go with the dumbass writing and like bad writing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't.
All right.
And it's just like, and to the
Uh,
earlier point of that we all should have this in fair use. We should have it if we have footage out there that they put out, we should have the fair use to react to it, make transformative content, put our thoughts and opinions on the footage. But the problem is because these big companies know how to abuse the copyright system here on YouTube and other platforms, we have to go safe and be like, it's not worth the headache because we're going to have to do 5 things and remove that footage and try and keep the audio when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just unfair.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense to do that. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Now it's time for the topic of the show, guys. Let's jump to this upcoming week, the 18th of January. We got the Developer Direct from Xbox coming up. Really excited for this. So we're going to get to see a few of the big games coming, from Xbox Game Studios. Now, I just want to throw this out before we get into these games that they're going to be talking about, the developers are going to be talking about. Now, this has me a little on edge here because there's been the rumor flying around out there that like Hi-Fi Rush or some of the other big studio games are going to go to the Switch or to PlayStation.
I heard PlayStation.
I am strongly against that. I mean, from a marketing and from a business perspective, if you start putting games on the Switch or on PlayStation, I mean, yeah, I understand Xbox's, mentality now. It's they want all gamers to be able to play their games, and you should be able to play everywhere or anywhere, right? But I think they're misinterpreting the other side of the coin and what the other business competitors are thinking, because let me just tell you this, and I'm sure you probably already know this, but if Hi-Fi Rush were to go to, say, the Switch, do you think Mario's going to go to Xbox? Do you think Zelda is going to go to Xbox? Hell no. So they are basically giving their games away, right? So that now nobody has to buy an Xbox to buy Hi-Fi Rush. You could also play it on PC. Yeah, okay. But to give games to another platform when they're not getting anything in return, that would be a poor business decision, in my opinion. I hope it's not right. I hope that we're not going to get that kind of announcement. Everybody's throwing this stuff out there. I hope it's just a bunch of smoke, and no fire. And people will just, once the developer direct is finished, we won't have any kind of announcement like that. But if they make that announcement and if they do something like this, that's shooting themselves in the foot with all the hard work that they've been putting into Xbox Game Studios and purchasing all of these other development studios, purchasing Activision Blizzard, purchasing Bethesda, I mean, because then it's like, who cares if they buy all of these other development studios? Because these companies like PlayStation and Nintendo are just going to wait until they give in and say, okay, you can have Hi-Fi Rush. Okay, you can have, uh, Hellblade 2. You can have Avowed. So I'm hoping that they don't make that kind of mistake and that type of decision. Your guys'
Yeah.
thoughts? Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Burley?
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead,
I'll
Fubu. You go first. You go first. Go.
Yeah, you go first, Boo. Yeah.
Look, let's talk sports for a moment. Why the best teams win? Because they have the best players, right? And you're not going to share your player with the
With the other
with the
team.
opponent. You're not
Exactly.
going to do that. You're
Right.
not going to do that. That doesn't make any sense. Like, Xbox has Halo. It wouldn't make. First of all, I don't think Halo, the most recent one, would run well on the Switch. No way. No way in hell is it. Maybe Switch 2, but not on the Switch. On the PlayStation 5, I know it's going to run well. I know it's going to run well, but it doesn't make sense. It would be weird for me playing Halo on my PlayStation. It wouldn't feel right. If Microsoft does that and allows their IP, their exclusive IP, not to
Yeah.
be exclusive anymore, there's no reason to buy an Xbox.
That's right.
I'm gonna play it on PlayStation. That's what
Right.
I'm gonna do. Like,
They'll make the money.
uh,
they'll make the money.
yeah,
They'll make
this
the
is
money, but it doesn't make sense because they're losing money off of hardware sales. Go ahead.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because it's showing that they are weak comparing to the PlayStation in this case because it's their most direct competitor. It, because they're gonna be like, oh, they're broke. They need to sell their stuff to other people to make the money back. Like, it's, I don't want to be crass, but you know what it is. It's almost like prostitution because they have no money because they probably spent all their money buying Activision Blizzard. And why did they buy Activision Blizzard? When you buy that is so you can have the exclusive, but you spent billions and now you're gonna flaunt your stuff around with everyone else. Doesn't make any sense. I really hope it's a rumor. It doesn't go forward. I want Xbox to keep Xbox stuff with them.
I'm thinking 70-30. 70%. It's just a rumor that's been flown out there on the internet like usual, and then all the content creators start making a bunch of videos to get clicks and everything, and people on Twitter and X they throw a bunch of stories out there saying that it's going to happen to get clicks. So I just
And
I hope it
just to
doesn't happen.
conclude, and I keep saying this, I think every week I mention this, but it's something really important to me, which another reason I don't want it to happen is because I want competition. I want PlayStation to be like, we need to do something bigger than Halo
Right.
and they make a new IP instead of like, oh, they're
Right,
selling
right.
their stuff. We're going to have it, so we don't need to worry about anything.
Right.
We lose money on hardware, but we're going to get the money on the live service.
Right.
So
Because
I hope it's,
you know damn well Spider-Man 2 is not coming to Xbox. You know damn well The Last of Us is not coming to Xbox. Uncharted is not,
Final Fantasy.
Final
Fantasy, which is
Fantasy.
not even a studio that belongs to Sony.
It's third party, yeah.
It's not
but
it's third party. Like the
Yeah.
lower fund, like the big money makers like the Final Fantasy 7 and I think 16 as well. They're not going to Xbox. So Sony is gonna buy, like, it's gonna stay with us. It can go to Epic, it can go to Steam, it can go even for the Switch.
Well,
It's not
there's going to be a fight there. I mean, when it comes to Final Fantasy coming over to Xbox, like on Game Pass and stuff like that, over time, once the exclusivity deals end and everything else, that'll be interesting. But I mean, the first party, there's no way in hell that, like I said, Last of Us is never going to come to Xbox. The Mario game, the mainline Mario games are never going to come to Xbox. So that's just the business strategy. I mean, obviously, Xbox wants to make a better relationship with Nintendo, especially. you know, Ori is already on, you know, the Switch as an example, but I mean, yeah, we shall see. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get to
I was
this
going to say, I
developer
just
direct,
wanted to move
Burley.
on quick
Yeah, go ahead.
to,
Yeah.
I believe in some of the rumors could be true. Like they already have, like you said, they have the working relationship with Nintendo, and it does make sense as Lee points out in chat. Not everyone that buys a Switch is buying an Xbox per se. So you know what? Getting some of those software sales on Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch to help, you know, boost the game's sales up. Microsoft is pretty much been hinting they don't want to stay in hardware for forever. So
I'll say this though, Burley, and Lee the Hatless. Nobody out here in Japan that buys a Nintendo is buying an Xbox. That's the reality. It's the reality, unfortunately. I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah. Go ahead, Burley. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they know in that kind of markets in Japan, especially, they know to get a footing is hell. So you know what? Putting some of these games on Nintendo platforms, like you said, Ori, Cuphead, they allowed onto the Nintendo Switch. Getting that stuff there helps the software side to help, and it does still give a small voice of Xbox out there. Right. It's not much of one, but like they don't want to be on hardware. Like I agree, some of this stuff ain't coming to PlayStation as much because as soon as they do one of these games on PlayStation, Sony just says we just gotta sit back and we gotta wait them out. So matter is it going to be 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it's gonna whatever the number you want to be. If they put Hi-Fi Rush on, let's say in March, they're gonna be like, okay, we got Hi-Fi Rush because they wanted the sales, and all that. If they want it for some of these other games where the development costs are so high and stuff, they're willing, especially like Call of Duty. We know that's coming on PlayStation for a while.
Yeah,
and like I've said for years, they always are going to want that on PlayStation because they want that money back for, especially because Xbox, even though they're owned by Microsoft, they spent a good amount of penny just getting Activision Blizzard. So they're going to want those sales to recoup that loss and get more capital in for them.
Yeah, I mean, just Tango is such a great studio, and obviously, you know, Ghostwire Tokyo has already been on PlayStation, you know, but I mean, with Hi-Fi Rush and what they have moving forward, I don't think it would be in Xbox's best interest to let the other, you know, console, you know, competitors have those games. It just, I mean, they want to sell the hardware too, so I think it's imperative to keep it on Xbox. So
it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't, because no matter what, they're always third in hardware sales. They're never gonna. A PlayStation has to royally screw up for them to catch up to the PS5. Let's be honest. Be honest, and them to pass the Switch is like, okay, you really like you got to give like, unless you make the Xbox Series S like $1 in Japan and on a bunch of markets. That's the only way you're going to drum up.
No, Burley. It's still because people don't even look at the Xbox because it's way in the back, behind the curtain in the back of the store. People just walk right past it, oblivious to it, like it's not even, you know, something for sale. I mean, it's like even if it was $1, they'd be like, oh, I don't think I'm apprehensive about that. I don't know about that.
It would help. It wouldn't close them, but I'm using this as a bad example. They would have to do tactics like that to try and compete. And hardware, and they've already said they're kind of not wanting hardware. They're going for Game Pass. They're going for live service stuff like that.
Right.
So
So I get you. I mean, you know, like I said, hats off to them. I mean, they're working hard out here, but it's, man, they're never going to become second or first when it comes to hardware sales. That's just a given. So, well, let's get to the direct, guys, and let's talk about these games that are going to show up. Well, first, let's talk about the game that we don't know hardly anything about. So, Indie Jones, so Machine Games, they're going to be showing off some of the first gameplay of the Indiana Jones title. We're going to see some of the locations and all. That's what we're going to be seeing and what they're talking about. So how excited are you for Indiana Jones, and what kind of locations would you expect to see in this game? They're saying that we're going to get probably about 10 minutes worth on this title. So what are you guys' thoughts on Indy Jones? Fubu, I'll start with you.
I don't want it to be like a clone of Uncharted or the new Tomb Raiders. I don't want to be like that. I think, yes, you're going to have some fighting elements. You'll probably have some shooting elements.
And whip.
And whip. Yes, exactly. I think I'm hoping for something more platform. Okay, I'm hoping, and something that you'll have to use your brain, because again, Indiana Jones is not a fighter per se; it's an intelligent person. You'll have, of course, you need action, but I would like them to focus more on puzzles. Can be a AAA looking game, great graphics. I'm all for that, but I don't want them to make it a clone of Uncharted where you just fight, progress, fight. No, you want them to stop, make good puzzles, because there's something missing in games nowadays. It's puzzles that stop, makes you think. I remember the original, like Resident Evil. There was a puzzle that I stayed for days on that puzzle trying to figure out. Of course, I was like I was a teen, I wasn't very smart back then. I'm smarter now, but still, I want a puzzle. I want some type of puzzle, a little bit of platform, and of course, a little bit action. I want a mix. Doesn't have to be perfect, all of these aspects, but I want a little bit of a mix. Don't make it a clone of Uncharted.
Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah,
Indy Jones.
This has been an interesting one, because they say 10 minutes and of gameplay. I like Fubu. I agree with a lot of what Fubu said. They're going to show puzzles. They're going to show him whipping the whip at enemies and for puzzles and platforming. I'm hoping. The one thing I've been wondering is, what era are we going to be in of Indiana Jones? Are we going to be early in the career, later in his career? Are we going to be set in one of the times of one of the film?
It's got to be early. How much you want to? If they made like a Crystal Skull or something type, that would be.
Do you think they're going to use Harrison's Ford face? Like when he was younger?
It's a possibility. The
just
AI,
give him the rights.
Yeah, they might, and maybe he's the voice. He could be the voice. Who knows?
I think he's too old.
I doubt
it. Doesn't
but
care. He has all the money he wants. He doesn't need to do this.
Yeah. Well, he showed with the last movie. He's willing to come if they've got a check for the number that he wants.
Yeah,
he'll come in a sound booth for days or weeks or however long it takes.
We don't know anything about this right now. That's the really interesting part. I mean, we're going to get 10 minutes of what, he could be in like Europe. He could be in Asia. He could be in the Middle East, like in Egypt again. Who knows?
One thing I guaranteed we'll get in this gameplay in the trailer, and getting chased by a boulder.
Getting chased by a boulder, and then maybe they're gonna have some kind of like deal with Ubisoft, and he's gonna meet Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, okay.
Could you just see that? Yeah, because he goes into one of the pyramids and he runs into Bayek. So Bayek is for some mystical force has kept him alive. Well. That's interesting. So, and Machine Games is a great studio. Of course, with the Wolfenstein games and all. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Looking forward to that. So
we'll make it first person. I don't want that.
Yeah. So next up, let's talk about this game called Ara: History Untold. So a turn-based turn-based grand strategy type of game here. So it's going to be coming to PC Game Pass. So it's going to be PC. So what do you guys think of this one? I think it's pretty interesting here. So there you go, Fubu. Your football. Yeah. So going back to the beginnings of time and building. So yeah. So hopefully there's going to be some kind of console port announcement on this, but we shall see. So Burley, what do you think of this?
Yeah, this does look good, and since we know it's PC, so I'm sure we'll get a console port, but it'll be like a year or two after, because these kind of games transitioning to console takes time to get the mapping. But this does looks good, and this does have me interested. I don't think we're going to get very long on this, because they're speculating this developer direct to be like an hour, and 1/6 of the time being the Indiana Jones. I think we're going to get about 5 minutes on this, kind of max. Just give you the small tease, show you the trailer, show you a bit about it, what makes it, and Lee's saying, "Oh my God, it's Civilization." Yep, it does. It gives you those Civilization vibes. So yeah, I'm very interested in this, and curious what we will get shown and how much we get shown on this.
Yeah, Fubu, what do you think?
Yeah, I like these types of games. It reminds me one of the good things playing Age of Empires 2 especially, where you just start on the Stone Age and then you go Bronze, Iron, and so on until the future, basically. Brings me those nostalgic vibes. Looks fun. When Civilization. It gives that vibe from Civilization. So it's something that I would play.
Did you see in the trailer there? It's like they had the Eiffel Tower like built in Egypt. It's like right next to the pyramid. So it's like
and the Statue of Liberty as well inside the.
So stick some of the pyramids in like New York City. That'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be awesome. So for all of you video viewers, the link is below here to the Game Informer article on the developer direct. So for all of you audio listeners, it's at www.gameinformer.com. So you can go and check that out there. Okay, next up, let's talk about Avowed, guys. So Avowed is the next game that is also going to be at the developer direct. So Obsidian Entertainment, of course. We got this at the Gamescom, this trailer here from Xbox. Burley, do you think we're going to get a release date on this yet?
This, I think, this one we will get release date, if not release window. I think we will get, because we have seen a bit in this in previous showcases. This, I think, is another one. Like in Indiana Jones, they're going to give a fair amount of time to Avowed. And this is something I've been really looking forward to. Like, I love Obsidian. I love their take with the Outer Worlds on basically their version of Fallout, but not Fallout. So their version of Elder Scrolls, I cannot wait to see with all the stuff we get with this, what they're going to be doing, and what's going to make this stand out compared to Elder Scrolls. And that when can we play this thing?
Yeah, actually, we're also going to be getting information on Elder Scrolls after the developer direct event. So they're going to have more info on that too. So more.
The game is in development. That's what we'll get.
Well, no, on Elder Scrolls Online, they're going to be showing some stuff on more content coming. But Fubu, your thoughts on Avowed?
And it's something. This is the first time I'm seeing gameplay about this game, to be honest. I'm still processing, but it looks good. It looks a bit different. It's every time I hear the name Obsidian, I assume it's going to be a good game, because I only have good references when it comes to that company. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's a different setting. It's a bit more mystical than let's say, I know it's a different company, but than Skyrim, for example. Skyrim, you do have your skeletons and magics and stuff. This goes in that direction, a bit more extreme from what I'm seeing here. I do like that modes, that world, that fantasy world. That's something that I would like to play. It looks fun, but just don't make it first person. I have a thing against first person. I don't like first
Well,
person games.
these
If you
games,
can go
like in
third, it's good.
Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
you could always change the third.
Yeah,
I
when I'm
believe you
playing,
could with Outer Worlds. You could go third
yeah,
person.
when I'm playing Starfield, I'm playing it even if it's a shooter. I'm playing third person. I prefer to play like that.
There.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, I think Burley, I agree with you. I think we're going to probably get some kind of release window on this. Probably, hopefully this year. That it'll be coming. So, but the big one that I think we're going to get the biggest announcement on coming up, of course, is Hellblade 2, and I think this is the event where they're going to give the release date because it's going to be coming this year. And as you can see there, that is the person who plays Senua there. And man, oh man, this game is going to be amazing. I just can't wait for it. And I just wonder how much additional gameplay we're going to get of it. We had that, I think it was at the Game Awards, they showed off another trailer about her and her mental state and all that was going on in the cave. I think it was. I think, but yeah, right here. Yes, this is a part of that. But what do you guys think? I mean, are we going to get the release date? I think we are, and I think I'm gonna predict it's probably going to be coming in November. What do you guys think, Burley?
Yeah, November wouldn't be a bad time, especially as far as we know, the holiday slate this year is pretty barren. So, you know what? As of right now, there's not really much competition. Plus, it gives you how many more months to just say, yeah, come out. I agree. We're definitely going to get release date and window. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like September, October, November. Would make sense to me. Whereas I think like Avowed will be summer. Sorry, I meant to say that earlier. Yeah, I want to see what are they adding to this game, because like I've put about 2 something hours into the first game. I like it, but I have some small nitpicks. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Are they going to address some of the stuff from the first game? We can do like the whole mental stuff. That this is cool and all that, but what are we going to get in terms of extra gameplay stuff?
Yeah, I mean, visually, this just looks stunning. I mean, it's almost like a movie. I mean, a full blown actual film. I mean, so yeah, Fubu, your thoughts, and will we get a release date? Do you think?
Yeah, I think it's time for them to announce a release date. And like Burley was saying, it's a bit barren at the end of the year when it comes to games. But I think they're focusing right now because we're having a very strong start to the year when it comes to game releases. So I think they're leaving, like in the summer, they're going to start announcing more and more games. I was just looking at this and imagine this not being an Xbox exclusive. If I just like, oh, this is going to be on the Xbox Direct, and they're going to announce, let's say, September, and then by September I'm going to have it as well on PlayStation. So I'm not going to sweat it.
Yeah. No, I don't think this game is not going to come to PlayStation. Yeah,
you never know. The first game did come to PlayStation.
That was before.
I agree.
Bethesda. It's different. It's different because the rights weren't bought at the time. It was a free game, could go anywhere. And then of course Microsoft did the great thing, because I already played a little bit on Steam Deck, the first one, and I'm having a blast. It's a really, really good game. We talked about last episode that the game is really good, and this week I played a little bit more, and it's really promising for the second one. And it could definitely be a system seller, a hardware seller, because this game looks really beautiful, and I hope they give us about 20 minutes of gameplay, because they need to focus on something on this direct. They need to have the big showcase. I think Hellblade 2 will be the big showcase. I hope to give us some really fun gameplay, and I think it is time to announce the release date of this game so people can start pre-ordering and do those normal gamer things.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to be getting behind the scenes looks, so it'll be interesting. I mean, just more in-depth information on Senua and her character, and just the world that she's, that she lives in, and the culture of the people, that that she is a part of, that kind of like that Celtic culture. So I'm really, really interested to see that. So man, yeah, Senua's Saga. So Hellblade 2. I like I said, I think it's coming in November, but yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll be talking about it on next week's episode for sure, because yeah, it's coming on the 18th. So the developer direct. So yeah, man, excited for it. Yeah, especially Senua's Saga. I mean, I think that's, like Fuba said, I think it's going to get the majority of the attention during the showcase. But yeah, we'll have the other announcements. We'll have the Indie Jones for about 10 minutes, and then Avowed, and then Aura, History Untold. So, Burley?
We do have one question in from Lee in the chat saying, do you think we'll see more of OD by Kojima in this developer direct? I'm going to say no, because we got the small tease at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Kojima,
too early.
It's too early. They're because he's doing that, Death Stranding 2, and he's got his like podcast show and stuff. He's got a lot going on. Plus, we just had that small sneak peek in middle of December. They're going to stretch this out a while. You'll hear another thing on the game in the year and see something else, but it's too early in the year. I think that's going to be either Game Awards or time around even though there's no E3, but all the companies are going to do their own showcases around there. You'll hear more then and see more then.
Yeah, I agree. So, just Kojima, he takes forever to make a game. So it's probably an early development. To make. He's probably still talking to actors about joining the project still. I mean that's probably how early in development that game probably is. We don't know, but
not to mention Jordan Peele as a film director, he's making films a lot. So he's probably Jordan Peele's busy. So it's trying to get everyone in that room to consistently work on it. It's that game's years away.
And it's probably safe to say that this will not be the only developer direct that Xbox is going to have this year. They're going to have more of them. Okay. Yeah, there'll probably be at least 3 or 4 more this year, I think, when it comes to the games that are, getting close to release. So, and I think that's what they want to do. I mean, because they made the mistake of talking about games way too early, like that were still over a year before they were being released. So I think, except for Indiana Jones, I think the other games that are going to be in this developer direct are going to be close to being released. So, yeah. So, all right. So that was our topic of the show. So let us know in the comments what you thought of the announcements for this developer direct, and what do you expect to see. So obviously we'll be talking about it on next week's episode of the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast. So stay tuned for our impressions and reactions to the developers direct next week. So next up is our picks of the week. So over at releases.com for the week of January 15th through the 21st, you can go to releases.com and check out all the games that are releasing this week and for the rest of the month of January and beyond. So for all of you video viewers, the link is below. Releases.com. For you audio listeners, it's at www.releases.com. So first up, Burley, what do you have for us for your pick of the week? What is your pick of the week, man?
My pick of the week is Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. And in this adventures, players will embody Sargon, a young gifted warrior and a member of an elite group called the Immortals, as they've sent to rescue Princess Gehazin they will explore Mount Quath, a wondrous place now cursed and hostile. Sargon and his brothers in arms will soon discover that time itself will be treacherous foe, and the world balance must be restored. Inspired by Metroidvania structure, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown lets players explore a handcrafted world at their own pace. So, and then it just saying coming out January 18th to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and the Switch, and probably your toaster and smart fridge. Um, this was a very interesting thing. Them going back to the style of where Prince of Persia started, but this one being a Metroidvania. I love Metroidvanias. I suck at them, but I love them. So this is something I cannot wait. Come on, you know what? Ubisoft, reach out to Konami, even if it's a little bit of DLC. Give me a super secret boss of Dracula, and you go into the room and you get the famous line, "What is a man?" I will pay you another $5 to $10 for that.
Didn't they do that with Dead Souls? You have the Castlevania.
Yeah,
DLC.
they had that. Yeah, they had Dracula. I think Alucard, and I forget if it was Richter Belmont.
Yeah. But I think I've seen gameplay for this. I'm also a huge Metroidvania fan. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's I hope it's a big hit, and Ubisoft can do this with other IP. I know that Assassin's Creed already has this type of game, but it doesn't have the same quality as this one that this one is showing. So I'm hoping that it makes Ubisoft go back and make a Metroidvania Assassin's Creed like this, but with this quality, because this is beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, I think you're referring to the Assassin's Creeds, the China and what is it? China
Russia.
and India and Russia. Those
Or
three.
it's like Assassin's Creed Chronicles or something like that, and then the countries. But one thing,
Assassin's Creed Chronicles, I played all of them. Yeah, I liked the China one the best, but yeah, they were all good.
Yeah. One other thing that they did on this that they showed and people found with the demo and stuff is if you do, like in the photo mode and stuff like that, and you take the photos, so you can take photos of stuff that let's say something is like, this object, I know I can interact with it. I don't have an item. If you take a photo of that, it will place a little trigger on the map.
Yeah.
So you remember, so you can go back, you make it easier to go back and remember I have something. It's like, oh my God, like it just shows the dedication and effort in this thing.
Right.
The game reviews have been dropping, and it's been getting 9s and 10, or not 10s, but like high 9s and high 8s. So, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Like it. I didn't know about that. That's very new.
Well, speaking of a game that got like very high 9s and 10s, and its predecessor got a 10 as well. Fubu, I'll let you go ahead and I'll read the description, and then I'll let you go ahead and talk about the game itself. But next up,
Perfect.
Of course, The Last of Us Part 2, so remastered. So
Abby Edition.
Haha. Experienced the winner of over 300 Game of the Year awards now, with an array of technical enhancements that make The Last of Us Part 2 remastered the definitive way to play Ellie and Abby's critically acclaimed story. So it's out for PlayStation on January 19th for PS5. So Fubu, go ahead. Your thoughts on this? It's your pick. It's your pick of the week as well.
It's my pick as well. Like I already mentioned many times, and I think we all agreed the story wasn't necessary, but that doesn't take it from being one hell of a game. It is an amazing game to play. The environment, what they added to the game, everything on the single player mode, the single player mode. There's no online, but you know what I mean, on the story mode. Yeah. It is quite unique what they did with the game, and has some action focused elements at the end of the Abbey segment of the story where the village is burning. It's really good, and now adding this roguelike, and sorry, I'm going to talk about a different game. But this week, one of the other games that I played was God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, where you do
Yeah.
the roguelike element, and I
Mhm.
just loved it. And I can't imagine how it's going to be like in this game, because like
Yeah.
on God of War, you're limited to the world and the weapons. This one, you have a huge assortment of weapons. Uh, Different characters have different abilities, so each gameplay is each run's going to feel different because you'll have to use different abilities. I know one is better with the gun, another is better with crafting items. Then there's, I think it's Dina, she's better with healing. Every character has its own element, and
Yeah.
if you already have the game, the upgrade, it's only 10 euros. Well, 10 euros is 10 euros. You can have a meal for 10 euros, but the amount of time, it's true, you can have a meal
Yeah,
for
yeah,
10
yeah,
euros.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
but the amount of time that you will spend playing this game for an upgrade of 10 years, I'm just talking about the roguelike, because you can redo the game again with better graphics, because the way technology is nowadays, 1 year difference is already a huge leap when it comes to graphical improvement. And I'm hoping we're going to see that in this game. And for the roguelike itself, and maybe in the future they will, if it's a hit, they might do more free DLCs, and you might have that for free. So I I was watching the other day on Wednesday, I think I was at the second game shop, and I was looking at the game. It's going for
Mhm.
30 euros, which is not that much. I was thinking about buying it, but since I haven't worked since the start of the year because I was sick, I'm not going to get the full paycheck, so I'm not going to spend money now. But maybe next month I'll just buy the game cheap and not just get the DLC for 10 euros, and it's I'm gonna have some time. And for Burley, I think this is great for you to stream, like to have different
Sure.
runs. Maybe have, because you have a great community. Maybe the community is gonna choose the path for you, so it's gonna be very interesting.
Okay, let me
That's
just
something that we do.
let
Yeah,
me just say this before we move on.
I talk too much.
You say that this was not necessary, this game,
Yeah,
the
story
story.
wise, story wise.
I I disagree in the sense that the first the first game and the story was such a great story that it needed to have a second story that was was almost as great as the first story. And I'm glad that they did it. They didn't have to. I agree. They didn't have to do this, but I'm glad they did because it's an amazing story. And those of you that are watching The Last of Us on HBO Max, obviously we got the news this week that Caitlin Deaver is going to be playing Abby. So of course we're going to be talking about that more on our post show, which is exclusive to our Patreons. Yeah, I think I'm glad that they made The Last of Us Part Two. I really am. So, all right, let's.
I just want to say my few things. Like, I have not
Yeah.
played this, but that
Mhm.
is nice. For them to do. If you do own the game, $10 upgrade.
Yeah.
Get the roguelite, some lost levels that they cut out of the game.
Yeah.
So they are giving you a lot of content, which
Mhm.
is great, and I will champion them there. I'm hoping, because you're putting this to the PS5,
Yeah.
give me the adaptive triggers, for the love of God. Like,
Yeah.
they did use them a little on part one. If you played the PS5 version of part one,
Yeah.
that's how I finished the game, and I got the platinum because I have a problem. Um,
So my question to you guys before we move on then is I definitely know this isn't necessary, but it's going to happen. But when is PlayStation going to and Naughty Dog going to announce The Last of Us Part 3 this year? Because
they're
they're probably going to announce it this year.
Yeah. Oh, E3, when they're E3
There
kind
is
of
no
time.
E3 anymore, Burley.
Yeah, I'm
You
using
mean the
E3
Summer Game
that
Fest?
so around
Uh,
that time, because Sony does their own state of play then.
Uh-huh.
Like, remember, that's when they did their big one with Spider-Man 2 last year, and a few other stuff. That's when we're gonna get Last of Us Part 3, the announcement reveal, whatever. that out of all the time of the year, I would say is the best for that to do it, because at that time production will be like production starting with second season, but production should be kind of wrapping up, and they're going to be, getting in the editing. They want to keep reminding people of Last of Us. So yeah, Lee's saying here in the chat, after they do Last of Us Definitive Edition, where they'll sell the game 1 and 2 in a combo pack. I wouldn't be surprised in the
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Seriously, around holiday time, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. Holiday
Yeah.
time this year,
Yeah.
A little
because
bit
there will
before,
be people that buy it.
maybe it's
Maybe
gonna
a
be
mobile
it's gonna
game
come
or
out
two.
maybe
Oh.
maybe no, not mobile games. No, not
No.
maybe they'll do the definite pack like 2 months before The Last of Us 3 Part
Yeah.
3 comes out,
Yeah.
so that you can. I'm thinking that they might announce the game near when there's a third season, so you can probably play the game and watch the series side by side, and maybe do some comparisons. I think that would be something interesting to do. But the way they did the game, yeah, there has to be a third one, because I didn't like the way the second one ended. It was really, really sad. I didn't like the end of the second one, and I hope there's a third one, because
Well-
Ellie deserves a happy ending.
Well, Fubu,
I know it's not a world
it's a world that's in a very sad state in the first place. So,
Well, but there
Yeah.
needs to be that glimmer of hope, that everything's gonna be okay.
yeah. Well, that's speculation and talk for another episode. But
Probably. Yeah.
So, okay. So next up, let's go ahead and get to, speaking of PlayStation. So PlayStation announced their extra and premium lineup for the month of January. So, which one of you guys is gonna call that?
I'll
out?
take
Okay,
it.
Burley. All right, Burley. So, what do we got? So for PS Plus, yeah.
So for the extra tier, we got some pretty surprising and some really good games here. We got Tiny Tina's Wonderland for both PS5 and PS4. I was surprised
Yay.
on that.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 remake, PS5, PS4. Great game. I highly recommend playing it if you have extra. Hard Space Shipbreaker, PS5. Lego City Undercover, PS4. Just Cause 3 for PS4, Session Skate Sim for both PS5 and PS4, Shadow Tactic Blades of the Shogun for PS4, Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song for PS5 and PS4, Surviving the Aftermath for PS4. So that's what we got for the extra tier. Not bad. And Lee's
my
like,
kids
Fubu hates it.
My kids, when they were little, they loved Lego City Undercover. They used to play that all the time. They used to love that game. So.
Well, there's a lot of great Lego games. It's one I haven't played, but hey, now I got a chance. Now, premium. This is an interesting one. Rally Cross for PS1. Yeah, I've played a little bit of that on the PS1 demo disc back in the day. Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace on PS1. So this is this was an interesting one, because they got the rights to that. Kudos. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection for PS4. So I can't remember which Street Fighter games are in there. I know 1 and 2. Or no, I can't remember if 1's in there. 2 is definitely in there, but I don't know which of the 15 versions of 2 there is. You've also get Legend of Mana for PS4 and the Secret of Mana for PS4 remake. So yeah, it's not a bad month. I will give Sony credit. They this month they did a good job on all the tiers. There are stuff in some tiers. Yeah, I'm not happy. I know Fubu's like, why they do this to me? Why?
Fubu,
why?
your thoughts on the lineup? Yeah.
Think on the extra tier, like okay, Tiny Tina's. I know it's a good game.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that. Yeah, I love that.
Resident Evil 2 is a great game. It's already been told, but there's, and sorry for this movement, but there's that pow movement. There's no pow. You need that game that's gonna punch you in the face. Like, whoa, really? This game?
And that
And I don't feel.
Resident Evil Remastered is on Game Pass now this month. So
Oh, it is. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It is. I'm actually surprised, and this is positive, because they announced on the Game Awards they were announcing a new Mana game series, releasing the Legend of Mana and the Secret of Mana. And I think the Secret of Mana is not the PlayStation one; it is the remaster that came a few years ago. It's either Legend or Secret. I know one of them. It's the remaster. It's not the original from the PlayStation one. I do like that because it's my type of game, and it's.
That would be
Scrolls game-
Legend because Secret of Mana
Legend.
was the Super Nintendo one.
Okay, thank you. And this is actually good because there's already another one which I think it's Trials of Mana, because I remember I streamed it a
Right.
few months ago.
Yeah.
So it gives more of the Mana series, and this Mana series, especially the PlayStation ones, the one from the PlayStation one, it is the golden era of SquareSoft, not Square Enix, because I'm from the time that it was SquareSoft.
Squaresoft.
They were up there when it came with RPGs. So
believe
I'm
me,
actually,
Fubu, I remember
Yeah.
those times. Yeah.
Those
I'm-
were
I'm-
good
I'm-
times.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they were the
they were
kings.
good times.
Yeah.
They were the kings.
Squaresoft, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
You want to know a game they could have the wow factor, that punch in the face, even on the premium. Release Chrono Cross, no Trigger, the Chrono Trigger, the first one, yeah,
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger on the
Premium.
premium. Everyone's gonna go crazy. Everyone's gonna be talking about that with trophy support. I would eat that game up. When it comes to the extra, you know what they could have released on the extra? They could have released, because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out. They could have released Crisis Core. They could have given Crisis Core here because it has Zack. Because a lot of people don't know about Zack. They could have given that game. It would be a nice it factor, not the crazy punch, but it would be a net factor.
Okay. Well,
I
hopefully,
think,
go ahead, Burley. But I was gonna say, hopefully, that'll come in the future. Go ahead.
well, Crisis Core, it's been too, even though it's over a year old, the port, I don't think you'd get that. They probably would have done the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII of the PS1, the port that they ported to PC years ago. If anything, they would have put on there. But for Chrono Trigger, I don't think they'd want to put that because the PS1 version of Chrono Trigger, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, had like load times and stuff because this was the thing. So if you're going to put Chrono Trigger on there, you don't want the PS1 version. You'd want the Super Nintendo or like the DS port kind of thing. And they don't have access to
Yeah. I got it.
All right. So those were the PS Plus Extra and Premium games. Let us know in the comments what you think of the lineup for this month for Extra and Premium. So, as well as the picks of the week. So, all right, it's time for programming notes. So, the Arena Productions is not only a channel about gaming news and game development, we are also a entertainment and pop culture related site. And you can see all of our shows, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, fantasy, here on the channel as well. And coming up in February is the new season of Halo on Paramount Plus. And I made a new video on that. So Halo Season 2 trailer impressions. So I talk about the official trailer that came out for Halo Season 2. So basically, it's going to be the fall of Reach. So it was a really cool trailer, and I give some impressions on the trailer itself and a little bit of a sneak peek look at where we're going for Season 2. So please check out, yes, the Halo Season 2 trailer impressions I did here. It's up here on the YouTube channel. So please check that out. So those are our programming notes. And obviously, we're going to be coming out with a video in the next few days on Echo, on the Marvel side of things. Echo Season 1's impressions of the 5 episodes that came out on Disney Plus. We'll be talking about that. And it should be up on the channel in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. Right. So it's time to talk about the games that we'll be playing this upcoming week. So, Burley, what are you going to be playing in the next week?
Well, I've got a few different games. RoboCop, I'm hoping to finish that up. And obviously, my pick of the week, Prince of Persia. When I get my disc in, I'll be playing that. But also, there's one other game that is coming into early access next week, Pal World, which is Pokemon with guns on PC. So, if you know me, Pokemon's been always big with my community, and the awesome Pokemon videos we have here on the channel. Please go check those out.
Nice.
So when that comes out on Friday of next week, I'm going to definitely be playing it, and there will be an extra take. So stay tuned on that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm laughing because I was on X with Burley, and I was just telling him, I want you to raise your monster until he's strong, and then just kill him and eat him. I just want him. That's what I was
All
laughing.
right. Fubu, how about you? What are you going to be playing this upcoming week?
I'm gonna give you an answer that you're not expecting. Okay, I don't know what to play this week because I finished Spider-Man. I did the Ragnarok Valhalla DLC. I got all the trophies.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, I spent 1 hour, and this is my gripe with the PlayStation premium tiers and so on. I spent 1 hour looking at games like this. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I don't. I might go. I might go either I Am Setsuna because I played it on
Okay.
the Switch
Mhm.
and I really liked it,
Mhm.
or I might go the Strangers in Paradise Final Fantasy because
Okay.
they gave it last month on the extra tier, and so there's a lot of people, and yeah, it's good. It's good. I think I'm gonna go with that. And
There's
I'm
an
not
extra take video to get my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
good. I'll see it before I start playing the game because at this moment, because there's a lot of people playing, and I'm not the best when it comes to those dark Souls type games. Because there's a lot of people playing, maybe I'm lucky and someone will help me, and I can cruise for the story mode and get some trophies and probably plat the game. Because if I start that game, I want to plat. Also, another game that I totally forgot I could play, which is Alan Wake 1 Remaster. They gave it on the PlayStation Plus about 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
And the way you guys are talking about Alan Wake 2, I was like, oh, I really have to play Alan Wake 1 because it looks really good.
Oh,
Used
it's
to
an
be an
amazing
Xbox
game.
exclusive. Used
Great
to be
game.
exclusive to Xbox.
Or
So,
you could play Lego City like Leah says in the chat, or of course you could also try Hellblade, the original first Hellblade
He's been
game.
playing it on the Steam Deck.
I got it on the Steam Deck. I got it on the
Yeah.
Steam Deck. I'm
There you go.
having
Or
fun.
or
having
Last
fun
of Us
with the game.
2 upgrade. You were talking about that.
Yep.
Yeah, and also because I love roguelikes, and what I did with God of War, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Just like
Cool.
at the start was really hard, and then you start leveling it up, and you start. I found the right build really quick before we continue. I found the right build. Basically, I don't use weapons. I just have my fists, and I
Mhm.
poison my enemies, and that's it.
Nice.
That's a decent way to do it.
Yeah. All right. So to end our show, it's time for our information on our indie recording artist spotlight. Each and every episode, we have an indie recording artist and their music to end the show with our outro. So this week's spotlight is on Lux Inspira. Lux Inspira is a music production company based in Indonesia, founded by Ilham Iwaluddin. The company has produced video-oriented music in various genres, from classical to modern orchestral music to electronic dance music for commercial purposes. From their album titled Evolve, and the song is called Pegasus. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 159. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley Gaming and Fubu87. And our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, should be coming back next week. So anyway, we hope you have a great week of gaming. And thank you for everyone who joined in on the chat here on the YouTube channel, as well as on our Twitch channels. And if you watched us on Twitter and X or on our Facebook page, the Arena Productions Facebook page, we thank you so much. So for those of you that were in the chat, so Leah, thank you so much. Leah the Hatless, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. Trainer Red 26, thank you so much for coming in as well. So I want to thank all of you for watching, and those of you that watch our content later on. in video on demand. Thank you so much. And of course, on audio on free podcast services. And then, of course, this show will also be edited and will go up to our patrons as well over on Patreon. So thank you so much, and we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the outro. Peace out.